Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hello, everyone, and my name is Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. This is the more or less official after party for Stupid O'Clock. If you did not see tonight's Stupid O'Clock, we were all over the place, but we had a general topic that we stuck to most of the way through, and we had a guest who brought up the topic, Ryan Permisson. I've got to be careful how I say his name, otherwise it's going to come out as a not quite compliment, having to do with a fruit tree. So I'm sorry I made that pun originally because it's now stuck in my mind. It really is, and I hate that. But with me tonight, I've got Dawn and Donna, and we are just going to wing it as much as we possibly can, and hopefully we shall be entertaining as we possibly can be.
Hey Dan,
This
setup does not work. You have to put us like 2 and 1.
Oh, okay. Well, I can do that.
Otherwise, there we go. There's Donna.
Okay, I can do that.
I needed to fix my camera too. Somebody was playing with it the other night.
4 legs or 2 legs?
Oh, well, that makes
it's
that
the
makes an awful lot
that
of
like
sense.
to give soft paws.
Yeah. He discovered a wire that wasn't put in with the rest of them.
And it just happened to be the one for the camera. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he knows how to unplug the camera.
No, just make it go dangle down. And then it
But
makes
enough about
little...
Joe Dog.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, that was a cheap shot.
But a good one.
Hey, I shouldn't.
Hey, from the way I understand, Joe Dog likes cheap shots.
As long as they're not a Joe Dog.
I don't really want to pick on Joe Dog because I owe him a great debt for having this become a thing. So what else would I do with my Thursday and Saturday and Sunday mornings, my Thursday nights and Sunday mornings, if it weren't for Last Man Standing?
I
Fun
could
to pick
think of
on
a
him.
couple of
We were being
things.
mean.
Yeah, well, who knows? Events eventuate eventually. So there we go. Got tomorrow at work for this week where I start training somebody in uh, possibly how to train people how to do my job. We shall see. And then next week I have to. I will be here for Thursday night show next week. I will probably be in the green room on Friday night next week. Saturday night, Sunday morning, there will be no Last Man Standing, so don't look for it. I will be at a hotel in Macon, Georgia, with crappy Wi-Fi and my not quite state-of-the-art laptop. So,
The big question is, have you found a suit that'll fit yet?
Going to go with something that isn't a suit, but it is dressy. That fits. I know it fits.
That often
Um,
works.
Probably going to wind up without the waistcoat and probably with two different ties and two different dress shirts, but basically the same outfit. Um, Sunday go to meeting or go to church, quality dress up. Um, that will have to do.
That's what
Uh,
these
uh,
days with 2 shirts and 2 ties at the same time.
no, I'm not in Buckaroo Banzai. I don't have to wear two ties at the same time. But I do have to put in a uh, dressy appearance on Saturday and a slightly more dressy appearance on Sunday afternoon. So the talk to my mom for our usual. Hey, I need to ask you a question. It's 6 hours later, Mom. I've got to go to bed. Uh, Sort of thing. And I mean, she's only like 3 miles away. Um, I could do this in person, but uh, so driving back the 3 miles would be a difficulty.
Yeah,
So basically, I told my mother that if my brother-in-law is not driving her car, I will be, because mom's 80 something and her eyesight is beginning to slack off. And mom's one of those ladies that she expects trains to get out of her way when she wants to cross a railroad track. And I don't think my wife would survive the necessary heart attacks if mom was driving. So.
that sounds a little bit like my mother-in-law's driving when she was alive.
Oh, hey, Michaela.
Hey, Michaela.
Hey, you've got a link if you want to join, honey. It's in the stupid clock links in list. I know you're a member in there, so
Yeah, she said something on it.
Yeah, that's fine. Just to pop in.
That looks nasty, Don.
I enjoy being surrounded by a multitude
Yeah,
of
I've been
beautiful
saying it.
women.
I want my feeling about time.
Just don't let my wife find out. Uh, no, she's not jealous. She knows I'm not going to stray.
No, when pardon me, when Carl and I first got married, our jobs were just down the street from each other, about maybe half a block,
Hmm.
and we were due to go out to lunch with his mom, and she says, "Well, I'll just pick you both up," and I'm like, "Okay," and Carl's like, "No, no, no, why not?" And he says, "Okay, just once, and you'll find out why," and I'm like, "Okay." So she stops and gets him. She stops and gets me. And we go down to the local Long John Silver's, which is across the bridge. Danville has two main streets going north and south. One crosses a river, and normally at lunchtime to get from where we worked down to Long John Silver's would take about 10 to 15 minutes in that in the lunchtime traffic. We got there in less than 5. Now, I got a lead foot, but I got a safe lead foot. I know when that semi is in that lane, I'm not going to try and get in that lane, in that place of that semi, because I know that semi is not going to move over.
Hmm.
So we get down there and we get out, and I look at him and I'm like, we have to ride back with her, don't we? And he's like, yeah.
Yes.
And yes, after that, I never got into the same car that my mother in law was driving again.
Mm. Now, my little brother is going to be going to this event on Wednesday, and the rest of my family will be going on Saturday. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And I'm going, my brother says it's a 2 hour drive. My brother also thinks speed limits are merely suggestions. So it might take me a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's entirely possible, but I don't know. I would like to get there in time for my mom and my wife and I to shower and get dressed up and everything for the event that afternoon. And knowing that my mom and my wife are going to want to look their best, and it's going to take them a little bit extra time to put their makeup on. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just going, you know, we probably should leave a little early.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized my sister may be riding with us, and there goes leaving early right out the. We're supposed to be there on Saturday. If my sister's riding with us, we may not make it till Tuesday. I just I don't know who taught my sister how to read a clock, but it was definitely one of those that is got a time delay on it somewhere.
Maybe she's looking at the wrong time zone.
Australia probably.
That's what I was thinking. Well, people will ask how long does it take from where you are to such and such a place, and I always ask them, well, is Carl driving or am I driving?
Uh-huh. Yeah, mom used to complain that uh when daddy was driving, her foot was on an imaginary gas pedal trying to speed the car up. When my little brother was driving, her foot was on an imaginary brake pedal trying to slow the car down. And so far, I have not heard mom's opinion of my driving, mostly because when I drove for the family, I was the only person who was awake in the car. They didn't know how fast I drove or how slow I drove. They were asleep. I was the last man standing. I was the perfect late night driver.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else took a nap. I just went, okay, speed limit. Oh, wait, cruise control hasn't been invented yet. I'll just be very careful. Yeah. We shall see what happens. I really don't know. Trying to get my family organized is like
Herding cat.
no herding chickens. There's so much more Brownian motion with chickens than there is with cats. Cats
We can
know
get
what you cats know what you want them to do. They just refuse to do it. Chickens don't know what you want them to do.
Have you ever
Uh,
seen there's a YouTube video of a person that did like an obstacle course with a chicken, and at the end it hops through a hoop. And oh my god, the lost it the first time I saw it, and every time I watch it, I lose it every time. Like crying, laughing so hard for some reason, watching that chicken go.
it really. I'm supposed to walk through that? Flap flap. No.
No, it's boing over the into the hoop.
And
Because it
yet,
hesitates.
there are cats that can be trained to go through those obstacle courses for the cat show.
Yeah,
Nothing
because
to
they know they get a treat afterwards.
Unfortunately, Buddy has associated treats with, oh great, mom's giving me medicine or mom's cleaning out ears or something. He doesn't like treats anymore. Although I got the nip out today and he hasn't had it for months, and they both were just like, and then
Mhm.
about a half hour later, they were both going, I loved it.
Now, I've recently formed the opinion that we need to um, actually just put the dog in the car and drive around. Not go anywhere special, just drive around. Because right now, we put the dog in the car, they're either going to a place where they get boarded or they're going to the vet. And she is not a happy camper in either case.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just put her in the car. We'll go out for a Sunday drive. I don't care if it's Thursday afternoon. We're gonna. Hey, I hear Lake Hartwell is really pretty this time of year. Well, we'll drive up and look at the mud flats or whatever it is. Just get the dog used to being in the car when there's not something that seems like
Not a
punishment at
destiny,
the
yeah.
end. Yeah, just kind of, hey, I'm with mommy and daddy and we're going down the road. I kind of like this going down the road. Hey, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Stopping at the vet, stopping at the kennel, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Drive through the DQ, get her an ice cream cone.
More like go to Wendy's and get her a hamburger with no bun. Hey,
Mm?
Nothing but the best for my dog.
You can drive through if you have a dog with you. You drive through Starbucks, which I'm not a big Starbucks fan. But if you have a dog, you can get a puppuccino, which is where they just take whipped cream and put it in a cup. It's the puppuccino.
Okay. Um, I don't know that we have a drive-through Starbucks anywhere around here. Most of them are in shopping centers or whatnot, and they there may be one or two that actually do have drive-throughs. I don't know. Starbucks is not one of my favorite places because why would I want to pay $6 for a cup of coffee? Um,
I can get a cappuccino at um. Okay, I've got a Dan. Uh,
it's called
Casey's.
aphasia.
Casey's, and get. I can do any of the flavors that they've got there. Never cost me over $3 for twice the size. You get one for.
hmm I have gotten Starbucks coffee a time or two at a grocery store, at a mall, something like that. I can't get it. I can't communicate with them. I want a coffee flavored coffee.
Yeah, Carl has
No,
that same thing.
no cream, no sugar, no foam, no whatever. Just coffee flavored coffee.
Bean
One
juice.
of
That's what you want.
the one of the comedians has got a routine about that where he pulls into a convenience store and all they have are uh, various flavors added to coffee. I just want black coffee. If it's been in the coffee pot for 38 hours, it's probably going to be good. You know,
That's it.
I want it to argue with me when I try and put a spoon in it and stir it around, you know. Just I want coffee that is a fundamental force of nature. And kind of like the attraction between um, electrons and protons and neutrons in an atom, just a strong nuclear force. Um,
Hmm.
that kind
I,
of coffee. That's my kind of coffee.
I usually take mine black, but every once in a while I'll put some flavored creamer in it. I love cinnamon,
Mm,
and they don't always have their cinnamon flavored. International Delight has three different cinnamon flavored creamers, and it's hit or miss whether it's going to be there.
mm.
So
Now,
I'm at the store and I'm looking, and there's Starbucks with a cinnamon creamer, almost $7. Oh, there's my caramel flavored creamer, three on sale for $3.
Hmm.
A half again a size larger than the Starbucks container. I came home with caramel instead of cinnamon.
understandable.
Have you seen the
Yes,
International Delight Cinnamon
I'm
Churro?
sorry. Cinnamon churro? International Delight has that flavor, yes.
I
Mm.
think I have some of that in the fridge. I do like flavored coffees and flavored creamers, but
Well, nothing wrong with
they're
that.
not. There's not, but they're not like the be all end all.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, and on top of that, I don't like a flavored coffee unless it has a flavored creamer in it. I think it tastes funny.
Ooh,
But when I go to like because I do like the creamer and blah blah blah, I've learned that I just like lattes. When I go to a coffee place, I'm like a latte. I don't add like 3 pumps of this and a shot of this and a da 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 da. I'm like, I will do a blah 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 latte, and that's it.
Hmm.
yeah. Here we come to one of my handicaps. I stopped taking cream and sugar in my coffee before I was 10 years old. And I like that. I like black coffee.
And then
Uh, my favorite brands are either Maxwell House or JFG, depending on the way it is prepared, whether it's in a stovetop percolator or a separate percolator, or nowadays it's a jar of instant, and I got to get the water extra hot so that everything mixes well. But that's because I'm at work. At
wait, you're missing
home,
chocolate nut.
we've got a little K cup thing, and uh, we buy all kinds of different varieties of coffee to go in that, and some of them are really good, and some of them are highly overrated, and some of them are good Lord, that will not only not put me in a coma, it would probably wake me up if I was in a coma. That's some stout coffee there.
Yeah.
And
Like I say, I only like it once in a while, and I don't use sugar. I use the stevia zero sweetener. And
excuse me,
when
ladies, I'll be
you
right
okay,
back. I will be.
when I go to a restaurant, sometimes their coffee's not quite what I like. I have the little stevia caramel that I can put in there. Don, look up stevia
Oh,
plus.
really?
It's
Oh,
caramel flavored, the 0 calorie sweetener. Stevia is good.
one of those things I can't have. There's two. It here's okay. Let me rephrase this. There's two fake sweeteners I can't have, and I can't remember which two they are, and I don't want to risk which two they are, whether it's the pink, the yellow, the green, or the blue, and I
You don't
can't
want
remember
any
which
of them.
one. Pardon?
You don't want any of them. Do you
Right,
know
because I
why
don't
the
want to take
white?
the risk of knowing which two they are, and I can't remember, so it's not worth the risk.
It doesn't matter. Any of those three. Do you know why they're white? They use red dye to make it white. Otherwise, they would be beige colored. Do you know what red dye is made out of? It doesn't have to be put on the in the ingredients because it's a natural ingredient because it's a bug.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom had adult onset red dye allergies, so we learned a lot.
it sounds gross, but yeah, I wouldn't go and eat a chocolate covered cricket. But how many bugs have we ate in our life that we don't even know we've ate? Or how many
Hopefully,
times
none
have
we've
you been riding a
hopefully
kid?
none we've got an allergy to.
True, but how many times were you a kid riding on a bicycle and went, "Ugh, I just ate a bug," you know?
But yeah, no, Pillsbury is this anything with chocolate or cinnamon in it has red dye in it to make it browner.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
obviously missed some stuff, so I'm sorry. That sneezing fit probably set off seismographs for about 4 states around Georgia.
That's
So
what we call a Klingon sneeze.
this was more like a meteorite impact sort of event. Good Lord. Sorry. Only 6 more months, and I will no longer have to breathe fiberglass dust floating in the air. Just pollen.
Mm.
Why did I plant so many of those evergreen trees? I mean, seriously, I
Yeah.
I love cedar trees. I'm kind of fond of junipers. I wish I could eradicate sweet gum trees from the face of the earth, but something worse will probably just spring up to take their place. Um, oh, I didn't used to have any sinus problems whatsoever when I was a kid, and then I had to go bush hog a 12-acre field in the middle of spring, and it had not been mowed for 40 years.
Fun times.
When I got back to the house, not only was I covered in pollen, but the blue Ford tractor was a bright green, radioactive bright green. I mean, if Cherenkov radiation was green instead of blue, this was the color it would have been. And I have had sinus problems in it and a sensitivity to pollen ever since. But I got paid. That was when I was earning money to go to college. So I got paid, got to buy
Yep.
my books and pay for my classes and everything. So naturally, there are repercussions to having gone to college, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of alcohol.
Not as much as you may think. Not during
Mm,
college. After
yeah.
college, at the factory, there's where the alcohol poisoning came in. Um,
I didn't drink a lot when I was in college. I just was a very social, let's go to the bar person because I lived 45 minutes from where I went to school.
hmm
So I
Hmm.
couldn't drink. But we would go out because I took night classes. We'd go out and go to the bars, play pool, play da 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 da. I had a very hopping social life, just not a lot of alcohol drinking.
I did have a couple of yeah, just a couple of episodes of I don't taste any alcohol in this. I'll have another. That turned out to have been a mistake. But other than that, I didn't actually drink a lot during college. Even at parties, I would get a nice little buzz on, and then people thought that I was still mixing really strong drinks when I was just drinking the mixers instead. Uh, and people were always worried about, are you safe to drive home? And I'm going, yeah, well, yeah, I've just been drinking Coca-Cola for the last 4 hours.
Hmm.
Just cause I'm happy and uninhibited, cause I love being around y'all people, doesn't mean that I have been overindulging. Now, the first 2 hours, I was overindulging. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. But the year I turned 19, Illinois dropped the legal wage to drink to 19.
Oof.
Yeah. The year I turned 21, they kicked it back up to 21.
You timed that just perfectly.
I sure did. And I was 19 looking 26, 27, so nobody ever carded me anyway.
Oh, I still get carded to this day, and I'm going, hey, I don't mind. I take it as a compliment. See all the gray hair? Yeah, yeah, I could be 17 in your dreams, honey. Ah,
When I was running around with a couple of friends from work, one of my friends was 26 and looked 14. She was about 4'9", blonde, perky, cheerleader type.
Mm.
And we were planning on going to this one bar, but she says, while we're here, I need to run across the street. My brother's going to be in that bar, and I need to give him a message from Dad. And the other two of us are like, okay. So they go, and this place hasn't been open very long, so they're being really strict about who they let in to make sure everybody's of age. So Cassie goes up, and of course he cards her because, like I say, she looks 14. Joni goes next, and he cards her because she's 27 but rather youthful looking. I'm 29. And I go start to hand him that, and he looks at me and says, "Well, I don't have to card you." Okay. So we go in. She gives her message to her brother, and we start to leave. And he goes, "Oh, leaving already?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're going across the street to drink with the adults." Bastard.
Oh, we'll be back when you wise up.
And it's not so that he didn't, I mean, he had with two other people that he had just carded. Obviously, I must be of age too. But it was just the way he said it. Like, okay.
Mm.
Guys are really dumb.
Oh, I apologize. We really are.
Especially when they're... Huh?
I was expecting.
You weren't expecting me to admit it? Yeah, well,
I was expecting to admit it. Sorry, I'm like getting hot. I am getting.
Y'all ready for Saturday?
No. That's
Why
one of
not?
the things that Joe had to send me, so I have to do that tomorrow.
Well, I, for one, are damn ready for Saturday. Of course, that means that I'll be asleep till noon.
By noon, we'll be having lunch at Busy Corner.
Well, I wish you luck, and I hope you have a good time. I will be in bed going. It's not Monday, is it? I've slept
Nope.
late. It's daylight outside. Thankfully, my alarm clock ignores weekends. So, had to turn it off for the holiday for Monday, so that it didn't wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is good because Sunday night. Well, actually, I didn't stay up all that late Sunday night. I decided around midnight, I should go to bed, and I still slept till noon. Oh.
Yeah.
And,
we're really looking forward to some Busy Corner pie.
Ooh, I should have you bring me a piece.
Well, figure out what kind y'all want.
Great, now I got it.
Oh,
Think
great.
about it and text it to me. You can text me.
In a perfect world, I'd be like, whatever pie you bring me, I'll eat.
Yeah.
And in a non-perfect world, it's like whatever you bring me, whatever you want, but I don't know if I can eat it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's the biggest. Like, I love lemon meringue pie. Can't eat it. So it's not a matter of me being picky.
Oh no, I know all about that.
there's a
Here's
young
my
lady
number
in
in the private chat if you don't have it. I know Michaela does.
there's
I don't.
a young lady in Canada that does she's building her own house, her own cabin, and she's got a lot of work done on it in the last few years. Quite an attractive young lady. Um, I do have a little bit of trouble because her first language is French, so
Mm,
she speaks in English for the videos, but she's always kind of lapsing into French, and thank goodness she puts in subtitles. Um, but she was making herself um, a rhubarb and strawberry crumble. Oh, it looked awesome. And she grew the strawberries and she grew the rhubarb in her little garden.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at it and I go, well, yep, I know rhubarb's kind of sweet. And they put it in a lot of stuff that, like fruit pies and things like that.
Rhubarb is not sweet.
The way she was preparing it, it was.
Yeah.
Looked like a cup of sugar to about 3 cups of
Oh, yeah. I've
diced
had
rhubarb.
I've had rhubarb raw, and it's a little tart,
I was like, that's
Yeah.
a hotness to it.
but it's good.
Oh yeah, but I mean, she did it all from scratch. Showed every step of the way. Didn't detail the oven temperature or the time or anything like that. But she pulled that out of the oven, and it was, to my eyes on the video, perfectly done. And put herself a little bit on a plate and smothered it in whipped cream. I do believe she whipped the cream herself as well. Not some of this out of a spray can or Cool Whip.
Hey, hey, hey,
But
hey!
hey,
That's
I
the best
like
some of
Cool
us
Whip.
could do.
I like Cool Whip. I'm not going
I
to
will
complain
take
about Cool Whip on anything.
I will take any of it I can if it's
Ugh.
any of it.
Hmm. And
When April and I go to breakfast, sometimes I'll order like French toast with strawberries or there's some kind of berries on it, and the waitress will ask if I want whipped cream on that, and I'm like, technically, I can have it. Whipped cream is okay for diabetics. It's a freebie. But the first time I was asked that, I said no, and I got kicked under the table. And I looked at April, and I'm like, I think I'm going to want some whipped cream on that.
uh-huh.
And at one particular restaurant, they bring me the whipped cream on the side in a bowl so that she can have it all.
Hey, you paid for it.
Hey,
What
this is why they get the big tips at these places.
once they get to know you, they will go out of their way to earn their tips.
Yes, well, and we, like I say, we over tip because we're usually there 2 hours, and yeah, it's between 8:30 and 11:15 where there's not a lot of people, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, and the sweet tea usually they bring the carafe out so that they don't have to come by all the time. And at one place, if I order coffee, they'll even bring me a carafe of coffee out. Like, yep, this is why you get all this monies.
There has been times when I have gone to some place like IHOP or Waffle House or Huddle House and spent $5 on a meal and
Mhm.
tipped $5.
Mhm.
And next time I went back, they remembered me.
Oh yeah. Um, Carl and the Cats had gotten me a $50 gift certificate to Red Lobster that we
Ooh.
went up this past week and had. And got this little waitress that we'd had before for a couple of times before. And I don't like to add the tip onto the credit card, especially in big corporations, because
Mm.
I've heard those don't always get to the waitress, or at least not
Mhm.
all of
Well, and that's that the way it's reported too into their income. It's like,
them. Yeah, so I slip them cash.
I have been
And
known to slip them cash and add to the credit card. That way, I'm doubly sure either, either both
mm,
they get it, and if the restaurant is honest, they get the other as well.
hmm but this last time when I gave her a tip, uh, Red Lobster has an awards program. You scan the little QR code on your thing, and you get so many points, and then you turn it in for free food. So I was waiting for Carl to come out of the restroom, and the waitress came up, and she had a receipt with her. And I'm thinking, we've already taken care of that. And she says, take this and see if you can scan it. Those people didn't have the reward system, and you might as well have the points. I'm like, thank you very much.
Guess what?
Hmm.
We have a Richie.
Where? Kill it! Quick!
I was just thinking
All
about
things. Oh, hi, Richie.
I
See,
do.
I told you you drive the women crazy
It's that long hair and the beard.
in that
Yeah.
gentlemanly manner.
He was doing a science video. He was finishing that up. He couldn't tell us.
No. Misty came home, so uh, I didn't realize that it was time for her to actually be home. So I had to cook dinner real quick. So I got sucked into a movie that Crow put on the TV, and so I made dinner. So spent time talking with her before she went to bed, and then like the last half of Cube came on, and Misty and I got sucked into Cube, and Cube just got over.
What
Is
movie
it
did?
all
What
right?
was the first movie you got sucked into?
The Disappointments Room.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's one of the last ones Gerald McRaney had a chance to star in. But he was a bad guy, and I didn't quite like him because I don't like to see him as a bad guy.
He did do bad guys rather well, but
He did.
I preferred to see him as a hero.
Well, he just finished up a series.
Gerald McRaney?
Oh, what'd you say?
Gerald McRaney. He passed away a few years ago.
Who?
Well, I'd say he's finished with the series then.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm thinking-
Major Dad.
No, he's still alive.
I could have swore he passed.
No, he
Hmm?
just finished up. They just finished up.
I was going
in-
to say, Joe McRaney, I saw him
like
on
literally
something.
that series just was done.
Well,
What?
son of a bitch. And then who died that I thought was Gerald McRaney?
I don't know.
All right, I'm happy to see that he's still alive. I don't want to see him gone.
Hey, really? Let's.
Well, my
I'll
theory
drink to
about
that. Yeah.
communication here. I'm like, no, I just literally watched Gerald McRaney.
Obviously, there's somebody who resembles
NCIS.
him that was
Yeah.
also very good, who did pass away.
Or had
And
a similar name.
oh yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
you know, he's not dead.
NCIS Los Angeles is what he's on. recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched
but
the
he.
final episode.
Of course, I remember him from Simon and Simon.
Oh
Oh
yes,
yeah, yeah,
Major Dad.
and several other things. Yeah.
that's where I fell in love with him with Simon and Simon.
And then he was the dad slash mayor on Jericho.
Didn't see that one.
Is
Uh,
it Mr. Burke?
it was a very interesting show. Basically, nukes get set off, and it's the town that he's the mayor of Jericho is just outside of a blast radius and stuff like that. So, really interesting thing. It's just got Skeet Ulrich as one of the main characters, Jake.
Oh, wow.
Alright, sorry.
Now that
Hot
set me off
flashes
on
or
another
just thinking
tangent.
about McCraney?
Pardon me?
Don, hot flashes, or are you just thinking about Gerald McCraney?
I think she's
No,
thinking about
Skeet
Skeet
Ulrich.
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 You know, that prompted me to a something that I wish had happened, but probably has happened but not been acknowledged. Was a movie version of Alas Babylon, and Gerald McRamey would have been perfect for about 3 different parts in that movie. Seriously, I mean, he would have been really great in several different characters. No matter which one they cast him as, it would have been great. That's an excellent story. It's probably been done without acknowledgement a couple of times because it's one of those um, family is in Florida, the bomb drops, they survive, and tying communities together who were not in a blast radius. Everybody in that area survived, but civilization kind of didn't. So they had to rebuild it. It would have been perfect for his talent in several of the lead characters in the novel. Whichever one they cast him as, it would have been amazing. Now, like I said, that probably has been done without having acknowledged the source material, which is sad. But don't know if the writer is still with us, so probably if he's not, he wouldn't have cared one way or the other. His estate might, but not him. You ever notice that sometimes they wait till somebody dies before they make a movie out of their work?
October 12th,
Yeah.
1964, and Harry Hart, Pat Frank passed away.
Thank you.
Who?
The writer of Alas Babylon, Pat Frank.
The
Oh.
author, yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at pictures of Delta Burke. Gerald McCraney. So I started thinking about Delta Burke and going, what does he look like now? They're married. They've been married since '89.
They're still married?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought I saw it.
Well, damn, I thought I had a shot.
I was gonna say I thought I saw where they
I like
split up.
Delta Burke. She's sweet.
She is. I hated what they did to her on Designing Women.
That's where I got to know her, but I got to know her through other things as well afterwards.
Well, they got to a point where they kept taking cheap shots at her because of her weight.
Because she had gained so much weight.
And
No, no, no. That wouldn't have
That
floated with me. That wouldn't have
no,
floated with me.
that's about the time I quit watching. That's like I used to like Married with Children, and then too many fat woman jokes. And I'm
I
like, not that funny, folks.
never liked Married with Children. I cannot. I am constitutionally unable to watch programs where every character is stupid.
Oh, but I love Katie Siegel so.
Well, I do too, which is why I'm glad she did the voice work for
Leela.
yeah, in oh, what's the name of the
Futurama.
cartoon?
Futurama.
Futurama. Thank you, thank you.
You don't hear
And
me, or I'm not talking loud enough or something.
you're mumbling, but that's all right. Well, now you're muted. Um,
Oh, that was me doing um, Joe Pesci swearing.
Hmm.
Home Alone when he starts swearing like Joe Pesci.
Oh, let's see.
I have to do that at home sometimes. I'm afraid the dog will hear. Um, you should see me at work. Oh, sorry, sorry. I was just working on dialogue for a story. That's all right. They bought that ship. Uh, oh, there might be an occasional 30 seconds or so that I'm going to miss working there, scattered out over the next 50 years. Uh,
What was that?
6.5 on the Richter scale.
Mitch, what'd you do?
Grab a pencil and a pad of paper because there's a couple more things I needed to remember to write down on the.
We can barely hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Perfectly. There you go.
It helps if I remember to plug in the microphone instead of you guys, trying to figure out if you guys can hear on the boom that's, behind my head that should be turned off.
Oh, I
forgot to
remember.
plug the
I
mic in.
remember when you were. I remember when you were using the boom that was turned on, and it was behind your head, and you went, "Oh, well, maybe this would help." And I have done that myself with this thing a couple of
Yeah,
times.
I just realized that. So what you probably heard was me leaning back or something, and the boom hitting something.
It sounded more like a earthquake rumble, but we'll accept that explanation and move along.
God damn, I've
Ah,
never seen this picture of Delta Burke in the early 80s. Sorry.
that's all right.
I got
She was
distracted. It's just,
she was hot.
yeah.
Still is, but
I'm not, I just have never seen her like
just
that. That's why I was like,
different
whoa.
direction back then. So it's all right. I'll be in my bunk. No, I got to do the rest of the show.
Still got another hour, sweetie.
Yeah.
So, am I really in trouble for introducing Carl to Piper Nevin?
Say what?
The wrestler.
I don't know. You think they'll get along? Will they be drinking buddies or what?
I don't know. She looks a lot like me now.
Yep, they'd be drinking buddies.
Carl.
You people just egg him on, and I gotta live with it.
Hey,
He photoshopped my head under her body. We're just like, what?
Transylvania 6-5. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry.
yeah, I can't do that without putting the dentures in because it's hard to whistle without teeth.
Oh, Mrs. Whistling.
That part of me.
Oh, we've got a peanut gallery now.
Uh-oh. Hey, Chris. What should we know by now? Not to egg Uncle Carl on? I know how y'all are.
Sorry, my first response to when you said, "Oh, we've got a peanut gallery now," I was gonna be like, "Oh, Jimmy Carter's on."
It would be a little hard, wouldn't it?
In a perfect world, no.
Well, his family were big peanut farmers, right?
Oh,
yeah, they were. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. So
Sorry,
what you gonna...
I just got distracted thinking about Carl and pretty girls in the same sentence.
So Rich, you gonna make it down to FezCon at the library, Nick's library?
It depends on how everything is sitting by the time that rolls around. If we're still sitting in the same straits that we are right now, nope. If Dad's house sells by then, oh yeah. But I don't remember when is FezCon supposed to be.
September. Hang on just a second.
In September, I really hope I can. I hope the house is sold by then.
That would be nice. It would be nice.
Because once the Dad's house is sold, as long as it doesn't go for stupidly low,
Oh, I should have known.
I can pay off all of my actual current debt, and Misty and I will be sitting decent.
September 9th, which happens to be my favorite niece's birthday. She was born on the 9th because her mom didn't want her born on the 10th, which was her dad's and Grandma's birthday, my brother and my mother. My second brother was my mom's 19th birthday present. Shit, Mom, we did wrong that year.
A mutual friend of Nick's and mine, her oldest was her 18th, I think 18th birthday present, which also happens to be the same birthday as my mom and my brother-in-law. Misty is the eldest of the three sisters. Her youngest sister married a guy that is 16 days older than I am. Literally 16 days. I mean, that's the complete gap.
Mm.
Well, at least you're contemporaries. You can talk about something at the family reunion.
Yep.
Uh, now that I've handed the Baker reunion over to a cousin, Carl doesn't go anymore, and that's okay.
Mm,
When I was running it, I didn't ask him, but he went down every year, helped me, get the shelter, make sure the shelter was okay, and because he hates eating outside, and we all know how he hates people.
nah, I wouldn't have guessed that for the world.
Good thing we're not people.
Yep, yep, yep.
Well,
I'm the exact same way. I hate people, and then all the people that I like, I am like, we're not people because I like you.
your
You know,
family.
Hmm.
I'll identify as a kitty cat.
So we're gonna have a literary uh, weekend. We're gonna go see Michaela on Saturday, and then on Sunday we're going to Champaign to see this friend do a reading from her recent book, which I'm so looking forward to.
We can tell.
She's not a bad writer. She's a pretty good writer, but her poems are, should I say, too direct even for me. Yeah, look at the stunned look on Don's face.
Oh no, no, no. I was just going. You've actually read some of my poetry, haven't you? Um, mm, this is a reason why nobody's ever made a song out of any of my lyrics. Um,
I mean, does it make the vagina monologue look like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type of thing?
no,
Kinda.
it makes me look like I was
Yours,
uh
Dan?
it
No, my friends. Yeah, it.
it
You've
makes
got
me
it,
look like
Don.
I was the chief songwriter for T-Rex because it's really simplistic and repetitive. Um,
it's got big heart, big head, and tiny little arms.
Yeah, because all of her
right, right.
poetry is
Richie, homework assignment. Listen to Bang a Gong. Um, you'll get the idea.
idea.
Um,
Yes.
If you're gonna
you
watch
know,
something on, if you're gonna search it, search for when they do it on Midnight Special.
Yeah. Uh, her poetry is all reality based, and she's working through issues in her life, and that's just not my thing. Uh, the poetry that I write is not that deep. I'll just put it that way. And a lot of it is very lighthearted and funny. I don't. My favorite poet is John Donne, for crying out loud. So, but Carlos promised to go to Benny's and get cigars, so I'll go along. Yeah, I'm easy. I'm just not cheap.
can't remember the name of my favorite poet.
Mention up on the comments here. Yes, I am a warrior.
Well, actually, I can remember the name of my favorite poet, but there was another one that I was thinking of at that time that also has been uh, heavily influential on several space rock sort of bands. But I think
Okay.
I think A fellow by the name of Bill Nelson is probably one of the greatest living poets we've got left. And he was in a band called Bebop Deluxe. He was in a band called Red Noise. He is presently uh, in his retirement years performing with the Gentlemen Rocketeers. And that man can put words together in ways that will make you just think.
Oh, okay. That's not what I expected you to say. My favorite modern poet would be John Hartford, and and my favorite poem slash song would be My Prurient Interest.
My favorite poem is "If" by Rudyard Kipling,
Mm, yep, another
and
another
of
fantastic one.
all the weird places that I found this poem from, very first time I ever read it was in a Flash Origins comic book, where they were redoing the origins of Barry Allen and Wally West as the Flash.
Hmm.
Speaking of Barry, how's he doing?
Uh, I'm guessing it was a 24-hour thing because the very next day he he was back to being his old asshole self. Although I about killed him today because I came down the hallway and I'm like, "You have a you better not be." And he was peeing. So
Ah,
Yeah.
so we did a complete refresh on the cat litter because Crow lately has just been adding more on top, which doesn't get rid of the
it doesn't get rid of the previous. Yes.
the well. It's scoopable, so they have been scooping the chunks out. But if you leave that in there too long, the cat box is just going to reek of ammonia, and the cat's not going to go in there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. You do have to empty it completely and occasionally take it out in the yard and throw the fire hose on it.
Um, my friend April's cat. We is part of what I take care of when they're on vacation. Santa's 17 now, and very particular. She will go in her box 6 times, and then you have to empty it, not scoop it. Empty the whole dang thing. Only
Oh,
6 times.
when I got home from work this afternoon, unfortunately, it looked to me like someone had driven past my yard and hit a deer
Hmm.
Ooh.
because there was a deer deceased in the ditch between my yard and the road. Now, I say it looked to me like someone had hit a deer because immediately after I parked the car and started getting the groceries out, my 15-year-old cat came wandering from that direction. And remember, this is the cat that frightens coyotes. And I'm just going, Susie, tell me you did not kill a deer in the front yard. And she just goes, meow.
Oh, I don't think the whiskey really is a bad thing.
With that innocent look on her sarcastic face. I mean, you
It's
think
amazing how they can look like innocent.
you think people can have resting bitch face. Wait till you see it on a cat.
Yeah, my friend from England posts pictures of her cats, and Patchouli definitely all the time has resting bitch face.
But the thing is, it's Susie. She frightens coyotes. I would not put it past her to go out and bring down a deer 50 times her size because she's always looking at the sheep and the cows across the road going, I'm getting tired of tuna fish. Seriously, this this cat. I mean, she's one of the matriarchs of all the cats that we got, and I'm going. I'm definitely glad I don't look like a can of kitty chow because if I went to sleep for too long and you were in the house, I'd probably wake up missing organs.
Well, a cat will eat you if you die.
I would like them to wait until I die first. This one
And
would.
of natural
This one
causes.
wouldn't. Yeah, being stalked by a cat is not natural causes. And, unless I'm in a swamp in Florida and I go, here, kitty, 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 then it's natural causes.
People go, but doesn't it bug you that if you died at your house, your cat would eat you? And I'm like, oh, that's gotta feed it.
Really?
What? That a cat would eat?
Probably, Chris.
What?
Chris said.
What do you say? I missed it.
So she's the one that song that goes, I'm about to rip somebody's ass with skin down.
That's my cat.
Yeah.
And I pity the first 5 policemen that discover my body if anything ever happens to me because that cat's going to kill them. Because she'll be hungry. Then there might not be much left of me. I donate my body to science, but I think I've already donated it to my cats.
Sounds like the cat would be killing the cops just to make sure there's no witnesses.
No. Just because she wanted some munchies. Oh.
You look good.
Ooh.
Here, daddy. Here, daddy Dan. Oh, sorry, I didn't look up at
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but that will not wind up in a story. But
I'm picturing Jackie Gleason's fat-bellied Southern sheriff and Susie going, come here, a little bit closer.
you look like you'd last an entire day. Have you got some barbecue sauce? Never mind, I got some teriyaki back here. Oh,
There you go.
Lord have mercy. The way my imagination goes, oh,
Yes.
I seriously blew the mind of 2 of the engineers at work today. They've been using this 50-year-old weight scale, something that will register to 3-4 decimal places. And it's got this plexiglass shield around the actual place where you set your sample. And it is 50 years old and busted up and held together by tape. And when I'm going, I wish I could just throw this thing in a dumpster right now. And I'm going, no, wait. All you need to do is replace the little plexiglass enclosure that keeps air movement from screwing up your measurements. So go to Walmart and buy yourself a great big cake cover for a cake stand. All you need is a cover to keep air movement from messing up your measurements. They both look at me like, how dare you do thinking in practical terms?
That's because they probably don't know how to think in practical terms.
Well, they do. They do. It's just they're children. They don't have my worldly experience with well, I ain't got that, but I can work up a substitute real quick.
Do this.
Really. All you need is a cover. And it's plastic and it's cheap. Just go get $5. You don't have to worry. And it's like
Would you say about me?
I they looked at me like I just figured out how to exceed the speed of light while quoting Albert Einstein.
Oh, Dan, sometimes you
I grew up on a farm. I know how to make do.
so I just made a smart comment and you just kind of went,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
oh. Was I mumbling again?
Yeah, you were kind of
Slightly.
mumbling to yourself.
They're not redneck
Like-
enough to understand redneck engineering.
Man got a point. Now, I'd like to hear what Dawn said.
I don't
Otherwise-
remember. We'll have to go back and
That's the trouble with smart ass remarks.
Okay, I'm in trouble now.
I think he said something about cheap and plastic, and I said, "Oh, you're talking about me?"
You're neither cheap nor plastic.
So tomorrow,
You're expensive in
never
ceramic.
I'm quite breakable, yes.
Mm.
So tomorrow on Nevermind Furthermore, I might have a friend of mine popping in because she's trying to come up with a tagline for something that she's doing, and I'm at a loss. But basically, she's got a
If
lot
they're
of
a
visual
friend,
impairment.
are you sure you want to expose her to Nevermind the Furthermore?
That's what I was about to ask.
Because she's the type of friend that would, yeah. You should hear. You should see some. Okay, so she's from. I met her through my net group for my surgery. That I'm friends on Facebook. I'm an admin on that, and I've seen some of the conversations that we've had in the group on there, and yes, she'll be fine. And and but she's got visual impairment, and she wants to take cards to some. Like when somebody does help her out, she says thank you, but she's trying to come up with a tagline to put on business cards to give to people to say thank you. So I told her to come on, pop in and never mind the furthermore and see if we can get some brainstorming going.
To
Sounds
say
like a good
thank you?
idea, actually. Well, it depends on the context. What
Yeah.
she's wanting to thank people for.
Just
What's her
for-
business?
Well, it's not a business per se. It's just it's going to be a business card type of thing, and
Ah,
it's just basically like, here, take this to so and so and get a cup of coffee on me was kind of part of what she was thinking about doing, or if she could staple it to a bag with like a piece of candy or something that says, just as a thank you, just because she has so many people that help her out with her visual impairment.
well, if she's going to like staple it to a bag of candy, she could put something like "Have a sweet day."
She kind of wants to acknowledge the fact she can't about her vision, but she doesn't want to say like I see you helping me is kind of the thing she was kind of basing it off of, but she doesn't want to use that because she thinks it's way overly cliche.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
All three of
Uh-oh.
you went, see, I knew that you guys would be the perfect group between you guys and never mind the furthermore, we come up with something.
And there, I mean, I can see the
Uh-oh, Rich thought of
turning.
something.
I can see the
Rich,
No,
wheels.
it's
Yeah.
That's not going to fit on a card.
Jesus. Come on, Rich. Looking for his not the green room sign?
you're talking to the guy that has cards that say "Not today, Satan," and
No, basically, this is a
no, like I said, you know,
I can't see you, but I can hear that you still have one less fuck to give. Thank you for giving it to me. I'm sorry, I'm sick and twisted. Well, no, I'm well and I'm very twisted, but
Mm-hmm.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Uh, then again, if I like the sound of your voice, I might open the door.
Oh, come on
Maybe
and
it
open
wasn't a
this
good
door.
idea. Like I said, I know some of the conversations that we have, and it's quite, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I regret being so immature, but then again, I go, you've been 170 since you were born. What are you talking about, immature? There's a difference between age and maturity, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, old Dan, we know who you are. We know.
Mm-hmm.
You just try to tell us you're not, but we all know.
Ooh, he did the
What?
laugh.
Arizona?
What?
You okay there, Doc?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Got to turn the fan on.
Give me a minute.
I wasn't feeling good last night, so I went to bed pretty early, probably 9-ish or so. Woke up at 11:30 because I got woke up by an idea for one of my stories, so I had to go put something down on that, and then worked on a couple of other things. Looked up, it was 1:30. Went to lay down, uh, and then got woke up. Okay, didn't even get to sleep, I should say. Tried to fall asleep, but eyes were closing, eyes snapped open. Had to rush back to the computer to check on three different other things, and finally I was able to go lay down. So I finally fell asleep around 4 o'clock in the morning, having to be up at 7 for work.
Oh, sleep is so overrated.
So Richie's a little tired today.
I probably should go right here and tell a story on myself. Back when I was on swing shift, during this time of year, I had a day off, and I thought, okay, I've been asleep. I woke up. Maybe I should go out and get something to eat. This is before Lindsay and I got together, so going out was a viable option. drove all the way into Athens, pulled into a restaurant, and tried to order breakfast because my alarm clock said it was 6.
PM.
I thought it said AM, which is why I went to order breakfast. It was indeed 6 p.m.
I have so been there.
Evidently, I had only slept for about 3 hours rather than the day and a half that I had thought.
I have so been there.
Swing shift will
Swing you around.
disorient you as to what time it actually is if all you're going by is a digital clock without a clear indicator as to whether it's AM and PM, and the quality of the light outside. Naturally, I was horribly embarrassed to find out once I got to the restaurant that it was 6 in the evening, not 6 in the morning.
Did you write it off, or did you kind of go, oh?
And here's the thing: had it been any of a number of family restaurants or a Denny's, you still wouldn't have known because you would have been able to get breakfast.
I would have been able to get the breakfast, yeah. And I'm quite sure that this was in the period of time when I was working huge amounts of overtime trying to get down payment money for the house. There was about 6 months where I was either at work or I was home and going to bed. I had no idea what time of day it was. Cell phones had not been invented. The alarm clock had one teeny tiny little LED to tell me whether it was AM or PM, and I didn't notice. Oh, hello, Mike Jimmy. I'm rather thankful that my life is a bit more organized now, less freeform, less overtime, less, well, I can't say less stressful, but I am of the age where I have no more fucks left to give, so I don't care what time of day it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, only twice in one day? Wow. Well, for me, it's one day you slept in between.
Now, there was a time when I had first got on to daytime only, and I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark.
Probably, Chris.
And I would go to the bathroom, and because I was programmed to wait until the alarm clock went off, I would imagine that I heard the alarm clock. I would dream that I heard the alarm clock. I would get up, go to the bathroom, come back in the walk-in closet, get dressed, drive most of the way to work before I figured out it's 3 a.m. The alarm clock doesn't go off until 6. I should go home now. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hey, Mike Jimmy.
Good morning, please.
Hi.
Oh, give me 1 second. I forgot my sugar.
Well, here's
Really? She'll never forgive you for that one.
Oh, I don't
And
think
he,
it. forget.
He didn't hear that damn remark whatsoever. Okay, I'm not
No,
going to.
neither one. He didn't hear either one of those remarks.
I know I'm always sweet, yada 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 yada.
No, I said she'll never forgive you for that.
And I said, well, here I am.
Oh,
How are we doing this
And I said
morning?
he could never forget Luz, no matter how hard he tried.
yeah, Chris, you're probably right. It probably was LCD. I don't know. It was so dark. There were so many. I couldn't tell.
It's been THC for all he knows.
What you said it was pre-Lindsay, so you guys been married? You said 16 years.
16 years. Yep, and a couple of months.
17 years ago. Probably would have been probably would have been an LCD clock.
Mm-hmm. And being pre-Lindsay, it might have been the time in between. Oh no, it was probably even before my second wife, when I had just got the house. Good Lord, that would have been almost 30 years ago.
There were clocks
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that 30 years ago definitely would have been liquid crystal display. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yes, there were clocks back then. Clocks have existed for several thousands of years.
Yeah, the clocks back then, you took a stick, you shoved it in the ground, you figured out where.
Oh, no,
Okay,
no,
both of you just
they had
get off the
really,
lawn.
really good clocks. I mean, you light a candle, when the matchstick falls out,
Sundials are
you knew an hour had passed. And
Yeah.
Oh God, that reminds me of
Water
a
clocks.
joke.
water clocks, yep.
An old joke alarm clock candle.
Oh, boy.
So it was the big taper candles, and basically it said that you needed to sleep on your stomach. You inserted the candle through the back door
Of
up to
course.
the amount of time you wanted to sleep, and then lit the wick. So basically, when your ass cheeks started burning, it was time to get up.
Hopefully
There was no
you didn't.
snoozing.
At least I hope it was a joke.
Hopefully you didn't have chili the night before.
Ooh.
Hopefully you didn't go on your side.
Put the candle back.
Yeah, if you did have chili, or in Joe Dog's case, air, then it would be a projectile. So that was always a running joke in the family, as my father and I are very
See what you
proud
get into, Mike Timmy.
of our flatulence.
I love it.
So my mom was always, stating that, she was going to stick a cork in my dad's to stop him from cracking one off. I'm like, Mom, it just becomes a projectile then. Nobody's going to be safe. It's just going to be ricocheting around the house. Someone's going to get hit. Someone's going to lose an eye.
There's bound to be an explosion
Loses an eye.
of one sort or another.
Either he's going to blow out his intestinal wall because the thing's jammed in there too good, or somebody's going to lose an eye.
There's two people crying laughing.
Crown eye.
All right. Speaking of scatological humor and my father, I have to tell my favorite story about Dad. I was maybe 10 years old or so, and it was during the summer. and on a Saturday, because I knew it was a Saturday because Dad was sleeping on the couch in his bathing suit because he didn't have to work the next day, so he wasn't in bed sleeping, to get ready for work and stuff like that. So he fell asleep on the couch. So it was a hard day of playing in the sun, water skiing, swimming, whole 9 yards. But Dad's asleep on the couch. Mom and I are up probably watching a horror movie because that's usually what we did together. I get my love of horror movies from my mother. But so we're sitting there and we're talking, we're watching a movie. And so there's a couch like this. Then a couple feet away, there's a coffee table. And then on the other side is my mom's grandmother's rocking chair that my mom took down to bare wood, refinished, put back together. I mean, she disassembled the entire thing, sanded it down, took it down to bare wood, restained it, revarnished it, whole 9 yards, even reupholstered the thing.
Nice.
So Dad sits bolt upright on the couch, leaps over the coffee table. Now, here's the thing. This is a 1980s American coffee table. So it is scattered with photo albums. Dad clears it without knocking a damn thing over, which was impressive.
It's like leaping an aircraft carrier.
Immediately does an about face, drops trow, and sits in my great-grandmother's rocking chair. And you can tell by the look on his face, he's trying to do something. Meanwhile, my mom is yelling, Dick, you son of a bitch! You motherfucker, do not shit in my grandmother's rocking chair! Dick! I am a junior, so, my father's name was Richard as well, so therefore, Dick is what she usually called him, and not because he was being one, it's just because that's what he was always called. And Dad's like, shut up, I'm trying to shit. She's like, I know you're in my grandmother's rocking chair. So there was a little cushion that we had to throw away because Dad left.
I think you've
What
been
is time to
censored.
go robotic?
But there was a
that
little cushion
was so
that Dad
bad.
left a skid mark on that we had to throw away. So, it one of my funniest recollections of my father. Now, granted, I am still partially scarred by that because, of course, like I said, he dropped trow, so I got to see what Dad was packing, so it was not a happy day. I probably need to work through this therapy at some point in time.
At least you know while your mom and dad stay together for so long.
Or not.
But one of these days, I need to do open mic therapy.
At least
You hear that, my kid? Rich is going to use you.
at least you don't have to live with the image of how one of your siblings was conceived.
You forgot the reason my sister blocked me on Facebook, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I was making a comment because I know my parents made one of those kinds of movies. I don't have
And they were not alone.
I don't have the mental imagery of my parents possibly doing it. That's one of those things
you have videotape proof.
It's one of those things that kind of burn in your memory.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a corollary to that story.
That's true. They didn't have video cameras back in 1945. Thank the gods.
Oh yeah, and in my parents' case,
walking in on them is not much better.
Well, yeah, knowing my parents, commemorated the happenings, and then, many years later realizing they weren't alone because this is before they had remote zooms. And there was zooming and angle changes. real time angle changes.
That angle
So-
changed everything, didn't it?
So they talked someone into filming for them.
They had a producer.
But hey, I look at it this way:
Apparently he
my
was.
parents had a healthy sex life.
Yeah.
and they still found each other. Worthy of one another's attentions well into my adulthood. I mean, it's my parents were always making weird, twisted jokes about that kind of stuff and their sex life and stuff like that. So, Misty gets mad at me because I'll make those kind of jokes in front of our kids, and she's like, I'm like, they're going to figure it out. I mean, Zach and Brittany could, get away with thinking, oh, hey, mom and dad never had sex because, they were before I came into the picture. But, once Crow came into the picture, sorry. That your mom and I had to bang at least once.
And practice makes perfect.
Practice makes babies.
Chris, I'm very grateful they could not afford a film camera back then.
Oh, Lord.
Tomorrow night for the green room. I will share that story.
I'm
That is
ready
the
for my
Dutch
close-up,
version.
Mr. DeMille.
So the practice makes babies. Like we have the Dutch version is practice makes art. Pretty much literally translated. So practice makes babies is actually a very old, fun way of saying this one here in the Netherlands. So we're used to this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad this is the first time I'm telling you this one. That face was perfect.
Back in the Middle Ages, they used to think laying a sword across the middle of the bed was a good form of birth control.
Depends on what the sword was made of.
Well, actually, no, I was thinking that this is how we got the House of Hanover. Miss Williams, I dropped a baby. I don't know why. Let's move. Nobody will ever find us.
When I was working for the magic shop.
Oh.
The magic shop also had adult novelties.
Of course.
One of the things I had to order looked like a sword.
Mm-hmm.
From
Sort
the
of.
Quillians. From the Quillians, well, technically the Quillians down, I guess would be, because it's the Quillians the handle looks like a sword. Beyond the crossguard, however, yeah,
It did
one
not
of
look
those.
like a sword.
So if one of those types of swords got laid between, could be a fun night.
That's why I said it depends on what
Might
the
be
sword
twins.
is made of.
Unless it's International Women's Day, then it might be a pain in the ass.
Well, I mean, if a normal sword is actually going to prevent it, maybe one of these will actually make twins.
Oh, we're so wrong.
I've been awake for 20 minutes, people. You're welcome.
Bless the little pygmies. I mean, seriously.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Not the green room. Not the green room.
Some days y'all make it hard to be a virtuous pagan.
I am a pagan, and I don't think those two words go together.
Virtuous?
No, I've met some pretty prudish pagans.
I didn't say produce. I just said virtuous.
There's a difference.
Yeah, really.
Well, depends on the virtue you're talking about, too.
This is
true.
Because, I mean, if you're looking at Freya or Aphrodite, or ISIS, then being lusty is a virtue.
True.
Yes, indeed.
Something make kids.
And Freya is one of the most male female deities around, because it's fertility and war at the very least, but I think alcohol's in there somewhere as well.
Well, that's
Sounds like
all the
marriage
gods.
to me.
So it's fighting, fucking, and getting fucked up. I mean, how much more male can you get?
Yeah.
And now you know why I follow Freya.
That's very 70s.
Ironically, she was a hostage exchange between. She was a Vanir. She was not the Aesir, as was Odin and the others. Odin's brother went to the Vanir, and Frey and Freya came to the Aesir as hostages so there wouldn't be any war. And all I can say is she was just making the best of a bad situation.
Very 70s. Make love, not war.
That's my era.
Oh, I'm gonna pay for that someday.
Isn't she also the protector of cats?
Her
Yeah.
animals, cats, yes.
Okay, well, that explains a lot.
Hey,
Supposedly big enough cats that pulled her chariot, but all
if
cats, yes.
if you can figure out a way to hook up a bunch of cats to a chariot and make them cooperate, you got to be a deity of some kind.
Mhm.
God, I hope my mother never gets this on YouTube.
I have a feeling that my dad watches these now, so I don't want to sit there and say what I really want to say. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow night at the green room.
Hey, I spent 30, maybe 40 years telling people I was a Zen Baptist.
Mhm.
I thought about going to church.
Right answer.
Well, I'm a double orphan, so I don't have to worry about any of my folks seeing this.
Oh, Lord. You know, doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. I never claimed my humor was appropriate.
Please don't. It's more funny this way.
I will say that either one of my moms would be totally at ease in the green room. So, and
Like I said, my parents are pretty laid back. They're the ones you can play Cards Against Humanity with.
my
But
mother would have loved that game.
Hmm.
I'm pretty tame compared to my father, except for my language. I drop a lot more f bombs than he did. Oh, okay. I take it back. I drop a lot more f bombs than he did in his later years. When I was working with him when I was still a kid. Oh dear Lord, man! I learned a few new configurations of swearing.
Mhm.
Oh, I once got in trouble at school for reading something that was written on a bathroom stall, and the teacher's going, "That's a cuss word." And I go, "No, it's not. My dad cusses, and he's never said that."
My
And I
mom's
got away
favorite.
with it too.
My mom's favorite word was friggin'.
There's actually a folk song about that.
Oh, I'm sure.
My mom would slap me for dropping the F bomb and then go on an F bomb laden rant within like 10 to 30 seconds later. Just stupid, no good, motherfucking, fucking, goddamn, motherfucking.
Mom, stop being a hypocrite.
That's not a rant. That's a tirade.
No, she was ranting about something.
Damn
in
it!
their
I'm not
list
an
as well.
English major. How come I know that? I majored in art.
Kind of the
and
same thing.
There's an art to cussing.
Rant, tirade. What's the difference? Spelling.
Not wrong.
I have been apologizing for my education in industrial language for years. And now I have reached the point to where I'm not going to apologize. It is what it is. You do this, I say that. It's not inappropriate. It is perfectly deserved and accurate. Maybe not in polite company, but who the hell wants to hang out in polite company? I mean,
I would say you're with us.
that's a waste of time right there.
When it comes to my language, I apologize that people are offended. Not for what I said. I apologize that they're offended. Oh, you're offended by that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're offended. I'm not sorry for what I said.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
I need to work on my Viking cursing more. But my best one is when I'm out driving and some motherless guy cuts me off or something. And then I curse him with, may the cop that pulls you over be female and on the rag.
I like that curse.
That would, and then I picture it and then I smile.
Mm.
And I'm not mad at him for doing something stupid.
I've used that curse myself.
I find myself
may the curse or may the cop that's about to pull you over be PMS.
I find myself not throwing curses at inept drivers anymore. I've come to accept that as the status quo.
True.
And I just look and go, honey, you see that blue car? Yeah, the sports car. That some bitch gonna do something stupid right about now. Suddenly, from the high-speed lane to the off-ramp, no signal in 80-mile-an-hour traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. My favorite one for that is, sorry about your penis, dude.
Oh, that's for the folks with the no mufflers on anything.
We call them little big trucks.
Yeah,
and
the big red trucks. I got a big red truck, so I can drive where I want to.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta listen. Or I'll go, oh, thanks for letting us all know it's got a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, I often wonder where my mom fits into the spectrum, because she's got a big white truck and she expects railroad trains to get out of her way. when she
course.
wants to go through an intersection. And most of the time they go, it's Wild West Sally. Stop!
So going
Why
back
is
a
there
second,
never a big red button?
going back a second to the the more interesting Viking-esque type curses and stuff like that. In the Icewind Dale trilogy, a character by the name of Regis, who's a halfling, uh, uh, lets out with the curse at someone. May the fleas of 1,000 reindeer infest your genitals. And as I was trying to remember that one, I was looking it up just now, and I found a better version of it. May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your crotch, and may your arms be too short to scratch.
That one I know. What's that from?
I don't know. It's just
Okay.
there's no attribution to that.
Okay.
There
I know that one.
are little cards you can order from joke shops that say approximately the same thing. And the idea is when you park behind or near someone who has demonstrated that they are totally inept at the art of driving, you go
Mhm.
ahead and you go, this is your license number, this is the time of day, this is it, and you pin it to their windshield as if it were a ticket, an actual ticket. And they actually make fake tickets that look like the real thing. You put on the windshield. May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your armpits. Yes, and that's just the preamble. It goes on.
I'll have to read the Icewind trilogy again.
Yeah, I want to say I think it was in the third one because I want to say it's uh, the second or third one because I want to say it's the third one because I want to say they were in Callumsport or
Hi, baby.
um,
Hello.
wherever Regis was running away from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folks, I hate to say this, but we just broke the 2-hour limit.
Yep.
That sounds like that might
And
take me to Band-Aid.
I do have to go to work in the morning, so we're going to have to cut this short. Looking forward to tomorrow night in the green room and Sunday morning, Last Man Standing. Please do rejoin us.
Yeah, I probably won't be on Stupid O'Clock on Saturday because it is the gaming weekend. So
Entirely understandable.
if I can actually get out to play D&D, I'm going to go out and play D&D. But I should be not necessarily here for the start of Last Man Standing, but I should be able to be here before the end of Last Man Standing.
Okay. And as I said earlier, next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but the one after that, Thursday night, fine. Stupid O'Clock, Last Man Standing. Perfect. Green Room, probably will be able to attend. Saturday night, Sunday morning, there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to do Last Man Standing next week.
It happens.
I will be at a hotel with hotel Wi-Fi and a laptop that is not anywhere near the capacity of this little workstation I'm using at this moment.
My guess is that Saturday, I will probably be MIA because we have the signing. And then I'm possibly supposed to go to a wedding in the evening. So
I'm going to be at a
I
campground
prepped
next
everything
week.
right here.
Well,
You will.
this
We're gonna
week
be at a
everything's
campground.
fine. Next week,
A campground?
Mm-hmm.
My idea of roughing it is a hotel with no room service.
Exactly, but we're going to be at a writers' market on a folk festival next week.
Nice.
So yeah, you'll probably see pictures of that next week. Looking forward to it, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, I probably would have too when I was your age, but I'm old. I prefer hotels.
Fair, but yeah, this was the closest thing available to it, and anything further away would have caused trouble because we are organizing the writers' market.
Hmm.
So we have to be there first, and we have to leave last. And
sounds
I
like a
don't.
convention to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah. Like, and we're talking from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. That is going to be the day. You know, it's.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's okay, Chris. In Dalton, Carl's my room service.
Mm.
Or maybe Dan.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling, coffee.
I was the
Depends
only
on what service you need, dear.
Hmm.
Carol's probably like, don't take care of it. That means I get to sleep longer. Waking me up. Go ahead.
Oh, time to say goodnight, Gracie.
We'll see about that. Yes.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're about to tell the bedtime story. I am going to go to bed. And we will either see you tomorrow, Saturday/Sunday, or whatever days we are available next week. I want to thank all of you for being here with me tonight because you make this work. And it's a whole lot better than listening to me monologue for about 10 minutes and go, thank you very much, Yon. Good night. But then again, those days do crop up occasionally. And y'all prevent that from happening time and time again, for which I am
We try.
infernally grateful. Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
We will see you anon, which means
Take it
we
light.
won't know who you are, but we'll see you. Good night.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. will shut down.
Transmission unable.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.